If you're managing multiple Python apps in one project, one repository, that can be quite messy. You'll have multiple virtual environments, log files, different versions of dependencies, and so on. But with UV Workspaces, you can actually manage multiple apps with shared code, shared dependencies pretty cleanly. So today, I'll show you how that works. And I'm going to do that by building a CLI tool, a FastAPI app that both fetch headlines from Hacker News and summarize them using an LLM. And I'll set it all up using UV Workspaces to keep everything fast and dry. Which, by the way, it's not at all in the Netherlands at the moment. It's raining quite a lot. So at least my code is going to be dry. That's something that I have to hang on to. Now here's the example that I'm going to work with today. I have this command line interface. You see there's a bit of a mess here with the imports. I'll clean that up in a minute, but actually the code here is pretty basic. I'm using some libraries like HTTPX and Beautiful Soup to get some news from Hacker News. So there's a function here that fetches headlines from that site, and then it parses the text using Beautiful Soup and it tries to get some titles from it. Then what it does is it creates a command line interface using Typer, which by the way is also an awesome package. And I define a command, headlines, that gets these headlines and then simply prints them nicely using Rich, which is another nice package. Lots of nice packages here. Now the setup for this code is also pretty simple. I have a pyproject file that just has a couple of dependencies. I can install these dependencies like so, and then I can run my main file. Now, there's no requires Python. There's a reason for that. I'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, you now get some headlines from Hacker News, like npm malware. Yeah, don't use that. Well, if you're doing web development, you probably have no choice. Hosting a website, and so on and so on. So this seems to work as expected. Now, the problem comes when you're not just dealing with one package, but if you're trying to add more things to this. Let's say you also want to build an API that actually retrieves this for you. And since this is so closely related to the CLI, you're going to want to put it in the same repository. So then you would create another folder which would have your FastAPI app. And magically, I have actually already done that. So as you can see, I have an API folder here, which has a main file. That's a FastAPI app. Uses UVcorn to run the server, and it has a headlines endpoint, which, well, fetches the headlines and then returns that as JSON data. Now, the problem here is that we had to copy a lot of code. This fetch headlines function, I had to copy that over. I had to also copy the dependencies because now this API also needs Beautiful Soup and HTTPX. And that's obviously not ideal. Now, you could try to turn this into a package and publish it on PyPI or something and then use it here, but that's also kind of annoying. You want to be able to just do that locally, right? You could create like one big Python package and then have dunder init files everywhere, which is maybe also not ideal. And this is a place where the UV workspace comes in very handy. The first thing you can do with this is that you can define shared dependencies in a root pyproject.toml file. And then these dependencies are installed once in a single virtual environment, and that is then used by all the sub-projects. And that also avoids a lot of version conflicts and duplication. So let's say I want to take some of these imports that I have here and I want to move them to a workspace level pyproject file. So the overall structure of the folder, you see I already did some previous work here, is that you can now have a pyproject.toml file here where you can then add those dependencies. So this is in principle the root of our workspace, and I can add these dependencies here. For example, if I go to my API, I have FastAPI and UVcorn. For example, I can put those in my root pyproject file. There we go. And now these dependencies are here. And now in my API folder, I can remove these. The only thing I need to do is indicate to UV that this is actually a workspace. And in order to do that, I need to modify my root pyproject file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tool.uv.workspace, and the members are any folder in the packages folder. So that's in this case both the API and the CLI. And now what's going to happen is that you saw that before it created a virtual environment inside the CLI folder because it just worked directly from there. But what we can do now is create a virtual environment at the top level. So I'll just remove this folder. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to move up to the top level. And now I'm going to do UV sync all packages. And now it's going to create a virtual environment for all the packages in my project. And as you can see, there's now a VM folder that appears at the top level. And what I can do now is I can do UV run packages CLI main.py. And now it's going to run my command line interface, but using the top level virtual environment and dependencies. Similarly, I can now also start the API. And let me just start a new terminal here. And now I'm just going to do a curl request to this URL /headlines. And now you can't really see this clearly. Let me move this to the top bar. Now you can see we have our JSON data as a response from this API. And also, as you can see, there's no virtual environment folder here. It uses the virtual environment at the top level. So that's really nice. And this is already very helpful. Like I have .env here, for example, which is being used by the API to define things like the host and the port. Well, actually, I now also have access to .env from my command line interface, which is really cool. And actually, in order to solve all these type issues, I can now select this top level workspace. And now I also get correct type annotations in VS Code, which is really nice. So it's really cool that we now have this place where we can put shared dependencies. And that solves a lot of potential version conflicts between the code in these different packages. By the way, making the right architectural decisions at the start of your project is really important. It's easy to make costly mistakes if you don't know what you need to consider. So I created a free architecture checklist to help you get organized. Go to ArjanCodes/checklist to grab your copy. This contains a ton of practical advice and a list of important things to think about that you can tick off so you don't forget anything. Arjan.codes/checklist. The link is also in the description of this video. Now there is still one thing we need to fix. There's duplicate code in our project. We have fetch headlines in the CLI and we also have a fetch headlines in the API. So what I'm going to do now is create an internal package where I can store this duplicate code and then import it in the various places where I need it. And also that I'm going to do under the packages folder. So what I'm going to do is create a folder called core. And that's going to be the name of my package. Not a really great name, but well, we'll just have to do. And then inside that, I'm going to structure this more like a true package. So I'm going to have a source folder. Inside that, I'm going to have the core folder. And inside that, I'm going to have news.py. And I'm going to take this function, fetch headlines, and these dependencies as well. I'm going to put that right here. And of course, I'm also going to need a pyproject file. And inside that, we're going to have something like this. So there's the HTTPX and beautiful soup dependencies that this particular library needs. And now we have our package here. And now what I'd like to do is I'd like to go in here and then I'd like to import this from the core package. So I'd like to type something like this from core.news import fetch headlines. And as you can see, this doesn't work yet, but I'll come to that in a minute. So that's the idea, right? And then we also don't need this and we don't need this either. So how can we make sure that core.news is now recognized? Well, obviously what we need to do is we need to add core as a dependency, but it's not a package that we can install from pyPI or something. So what we're going to do instead, and we can do that here inside the CLI pyproject file, or we can do it in the global pyproject file, the workspace level, and that's where I'm going to do it. And I'm going to add core as a dependency. Now, of course, if you do it like this and you just try this, then it's going to try to install this from pyPI, which is not what we want. But what you can actually do in a workspace is that you can indicate that some of these dependencies are actually local and they are inside the workspace. Oh, that's great. Okay. Apparently TOML doesn't really like my style of typing. Anyway, uv.sources is what we then need to add to our pyproject file. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say that what core is, and as you can see, AI is making up a bunch of stuff, which is not great. But actually what we want to do is workspace is true. So now UV knows that, oh, core is actually something that I don't need to get from pyPI something. It's like a local thing. Let's sync this all up again. As you can see, it actually took the core package from a file. So that seems to work. And now what we can do is I can run my CLI again. And now it uses the fetch headlines function from our internal core package, which is really neat. And of course, now that we have it here, it's also really easy to add it to the API. So in case of the API, what I'll do is I'll just delete this because we don't need that here. We don't need beautiful soup HTTPX. And in fact, we're going to import the fetch headlines function from core.news. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, the VS Code import system doesn't recognize this workspace thing yet. At least it doesn't do it correctly in my setup. Maybe I need to do some changes here and there. But when I run this, this should work without any issue. So I'm starting the server again. And now I'm going to do my curl request one more time, and then it uses the API, and then it accesses the API, which in turn uses our fetch headlines function from the core package, which is really neat. And now, once we have this set up, we can also start thinking a bit about, okay, where do we put certain dependencies? For example, in the API, I currently don't have any dependencies. These are at the top level, but it might be helpful to actually have these two, FastAPI and UVcorn, in my API dependencies and not in the global dependencies, because they're not being used in any other packages, right? So I'll remove them here, and then I can go back into my API pyproject file and I can add them here, like so. And let's see, we have our CLI. So this has typo-rich, HTTPX and beautiful soup. It doesn't need these two anymore because these will be part of our core package. As you can see, they're right here. So now we have these dependencies that are specific to each package. Core has HTTPX, beautiful soup. Our CLI has typer and rich. The API has FastAPI UVcorn, and our top-level pyproject file has python.env and the core internal package. Also, as you can see at the top level, I've defined the Python version that is required. In this case, that's 3.13 or higher. I mean, you could use an older version of Python, but at least this way for all the projects, this value is going to be defined, which is a really neat way to do it, in my opinion. Now, just to complete this example, let's add one more package to this that actually uses an LLM to summarize text. So I'm going to create a new package here called Summarizer. And I'll set it up similarly to the core package. So it has a source folder. Inside that, it has Summarizer. And then we have a file summarize.py. And inside this, I've already prepared this like a Swedish chef. I've created a very simple function called summarize text that gets an API key, creates an OpenAI client, and then it sends a request to GPT-5 and returns the output text. Of course, we can make this as complicated as you want, just a basic example. Of course, in this new library, I'm also going to need a pyproject file. And this is what the contents of that file looks like, and has a single dependency, OpenAI. So now once we have this, the nice thing is that because in the top-level TOML file, I've defined that our members is every subfolder in the package folder. Now actually our summarizer package is also available, and I can add it as a dependency, like so. And then of course, I also have to add it here to my sources so I can use it in the code. And now when I go back to my CLI, for example, I can import from summarizer.summarize, import summarize text, like so. It's maybe not an ideal name for a library. It's a bit long to type, but it doesn't matter. But now we can call this function, and the only thing we're going to need is a OpenAI API key, which I have in this .env file. So what I do here is from .env, I'm going to import load.env. I want to call that. So I have the API key available as an environment variable. And then I'm going to import OS. And then the API key is OpenAI API key. And then what I'm going to do is call summary on summarize text on the headlines. And I pass the API key as well. And then I'm simply going to print that summary. So now let's run this. It's going to build the summarizer package, which of course it's going to need. And then we have the top 5 headlines. Now it's sending it to OpenAI's LLM. And then I have a summary of that. So that's really easy to add more functionality to this. And now I have a pretty neat setup where, I can add more packages here, more tools. I can decide where I want to store these dependencies, the one at the top level. Do we want them locally in a package? It's very flexible and it's really easy to use. And of course, now if I wanted to, the summarizer package, I could also use that in the API. Or if I would add a third type of tool here, I could then also use the other modules there as well. So overall, it's a really nice setup that would be a lot messier and error prone if you had to use many local dependencies and many virtual environments. Here, there's just one virtual environment. So when should you use this one? In our case, we're using this for our automation. So we have this repository, which has all sorts of small automations, basically Python scripts that respond to some webhook or that extract some data from some API and then send it to another API. And these all have mostly overlapping dependencies. They're all using HTTPX and FastAPI and a couple of other things as well. And there's also some common dependencies between them. For example, I've created a small layer on top of our accounting system that all of these projects are actually using. So this workspace setup allows me to do that in a really clean fashion. So if that's something that you're dealing with, then this is a really good solution for you. If you have global dependencies that you need to share, if you want one log file for reproducibility, then this is all a very good choice. It's probably not worth it if you just have a single script or app, or you have a package that you want to release to PyPI independently. This may be not the way to set it up. Or if you have a repo with like completely unrelated apps, then this is also not a really good choice. In that case, I would actually suggest you split your repo into multiple repos, so one per package. Anyway, I hope this video gave you a better view of what UV workspaces are and what you can do with them. If you like this kind of in-depth look into modern Python tooling, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. This really helps me make more videos like this. Overall though, I really like this feature of UV. It makes it super easy to manage multiple Python apps in one repo, and it's a very clean solution that avoids code repetition. But I'd love to hear from you. How do you manage your multi-app Python projects? Are you using UV workspaces for that? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to learn more about UV and what other things you can do with it, make sure to watch this video next. Thanks for watching and see you next time.